strip Harry of his title and expose Meghan's lies and her plan to save the monarchy. Charles held a crisis meeting with his sister Harry and was greeted enthusiastically on the Princess Diana News YouTube channel. I think King Charles is more dependent on his sister princess than anyone else in this world. The hardest working royal of all kings. The little sister isn't afraid to step in and put things right, so it's no wonder Charles watched her look on in deep, thoughtful conversation as they walked to the ceremony. New Thought magazine writes that a Sunday religious service was held at Sandringham on January 29th. I heard the news and went to visit his brother over the weekend, but apparently it wasn't just a friendly, casual visit. One source reveals aside from Camilla is the only other person who knows how to handle Charles' bouts of self-played him since he was a boy and knows how to break down his walls and wanted a chance to give him a pep talk. It's obvious that the king is not having an easy time ahead of his May 6 coronation date. There are headlines in British newspapers that are constantly debating whether or not he's going to invite the gruesome to some. Now, as we understand things, Harry and his older brother, Prince William, are not even speaking right now, and the king is thinking about a tell-all interview to hit back at Harry's many allegations against the family. And there's also still this heated debate over why exactly Charles has not banished his brother Prince Andrew altogether, considering new rumors that now he has planning to clear his name over a long-time sex abuse allegations. It truly seems like the problems with the new king are never-ending. Source spills. Charles doesn't know what to do. His sons are fighting and his office is divided over whether to give interviews and whether to have Harry at the coronation. She also feels like she's too attached to Charles, feels too isolated and misses her late mother's advice, and insiders say it's great that Anne stepped in to help her carry her burden. According to a source, Anne wanted to help him calm down the noise on their date. He said it was very easy, following what her mother did. Invite Harry, but put him in the cheap seats and forbid him to appear on the family balcony. Do not be interviewed about your personal issues. Let Meghan reveal herself, tell her changing story, and get tough on Andrew on Anna's behalf. It really is that simple, and now it looks like the ball is firmly in Charles' court's hands. Also, a number of U.S. sources have recently claimed that Harry and Meghan are planning to leave the U.S. and return to the U.K., and I think they want that to happen. But knowing how little they have, they might do what they always do when they want something, and pass the message to the tabloids until the end. I mean, ever since Harry and Meghan first met 5 years ago, we've all heard about their heavenly pie. These rumors, like all their previous bragging, have been dismissed as trifles. But when they left, such a press alliance did not exist. They were the ones announcing the mags, but they didn't do it through an official statement from the palace, or even using the media. Instead, they did it via their Instagram account without even telling the Queen ahead of time. Some people are now even wondering if they were actually asked to leave, which I think explains a lot. But when things don't go as planned, they believe that by spreading their wishes through the media like gospel, the responsible people will suddenly be forced to give them whatever they want. Hope. That's what they're trying to do with a dinner for international leaders ahead of the Queen's funeral. But I'm glad King Charles stood his ground and ignored this media leak. So their two newcomers sneak into Scooby-Doo and do it. They were not invited. You know, they'd do the same thing at the coronation if they didn't get an invitation. I'm sure. William and Catherine did the same when they attended the Earthshot Awards, and Harry was so jealous that the older members of the royal family were invited to the big event in the U.S. They were so upset that Caroline Kennedy, John Kerry and his wife were there that they both leaked the aforementioned USW to the press. I wouldn't be there. I mean, they were so eaten up with jealousy that they tried to sabotage William and Catherine's Boston visit by setting up that race-baiting incident at Buckingham Palace. They were just trying to undermine Prince William's public image in the US. They timed it perfectly. They timed it so that William and Catherine were already on their way to Boston. I will always suspect that Meghan Markle and Harry had a hand in that whole incident with or whatever her name was. I think that not only were they hoping to make William and Catherine look bad, But they also wanted to the idea that there are a couple of humanitarians, and of course they claim that they had to walk away from the monarchy because it was so racist. They decided they needed to move to a country that didn't have any problems with racism, why they chose America. What they did to Lady Susan Hussey was almost as horrific as the sabotage that took place during the Cambridge's visit to Jamaica, when Andrew Holness publicly insulted, bullied and humiliated Prince William. He spoke of centuries of colonial abuse and how his wife, the First Lady, embarrassed future Queen Catherine at the welcome ceremony and at the time. Guess who is the CEO of Archwell? Andrew Holness can get close to that. Cousin, you now know that Harry said the royals aren't really racist. Maybe they should consider bringing back the Kennedy Ripley Hope Human Rights Award. Of course, they bought the item with a donation to a humanitarian fund, but I still think it's time to send it back, announcing that they're back in the UK. This is true. These two have been proven liars time and time again. In fact, I think it's easier for them to lie than to tell the truth. They also have incredibly selective memories and are so deluded and self-absorbed that they think we are a bunch of idiots who accept everything they hear in the newspapers as gospel. Yes, it doesn't matter if what is written today completely trumps yesterday's news, because unfortunately for them, some of us have really good memories. And you know what? Even if we don't have good memories, we can easily look it up on the internet. If the news is true, they may regret returning to the scene of the crime. Harry recently called his stepmother a villain, and he was so insulting to his father, brother, and his beautiful wife. He created chaos. What's more, now the whole world knows what kind of person Harry is, and he is not a very likable person. Also think about the real victim of Harry's loss of virginity. Hard-working Englishman, you are older than him. Now that she's speaking up too, do they think everyone has forgotten how Meghan bullied the late Queen and the palace staff? She bullies cute little Princess Charlotte and secretly takes pictures of her in her bedroom while she sleeps. She uncovers false rumors about an affair between William and Rose. She made fun of British sex workers running their own businesses. Within a year, she spent far more money on clothes than the future Queen would steal on jewelry. The list of horrible things Meghan has done is long. So this big move to the UK will involve a lot of conditionality and disclosure, a lot of cover-ups, deceit, lies and money laundering. Maybe the IRS wants transparency and demands payment of their unpaid taxes. And what about Archwell and all the charities they owe? And as for Netflix and Spotify, they'll get what's next. It's also time for Meghan and Harry to decide on the FA. As long as Archie and Lilibeth remain in line to the throne, these stories will never go away. The two of them are probably going to try to move back before the coronation. They're going to try to get titles for those invisible kids. And I'm sure Harry would love to get his military titles back, and then I think they would run away again. They'd probably go live in Canada, or maybe they would move to Australia. Who knows? So I think it's time for the royal family to brace themselves for the worst, and to avoid this happening, the people of Britain need to make their feelings clear to the king, and they need to tackle him head-on about this whole surrogacy issue. Or I'm afraid he will give those children titles, because we know that King Charles cares about his family first and foremost, and I do think that in order to avoid losing face, King Charles would go along with a cover-up about the surrogacy. And you, what do you think of Harry and Meghan? Let us know your opinion in the general section below, and we can discuss the couple too. If you found my video useful, please don't forget to like it and share it with everyone who is not afraid to subscribe to the Princess Diana News channel to get more updates from our team right now. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you back in the next video.